80% of falls in the home occur in the bathroom. Don't put yourself or a loved one at risk. There's a safe bathing system for everyone's budget.
Enjoy a bathing experience that combines safety, comfort, and excellence. If assisted living is not for you, a BCI walk-in tub may well be the answer, giving you the safety and freedom to live independently. A BCI walk-in tub is the most affordable and comfortable walk-in tub in the market today. With our dual drain technology, your tub will drain quickly, and for those that still like the feature of a shower, our two-way bliss gives you both a handheld and overhead shower head. We offer the best financing in the industry with payments as low as $99 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months with approved credit. For comfort, safety, price, and selection, it's got to be BCI Walk-In Tub. Be one of the first 50 callers and save $1,500.
Call 800-354-4377, 800-354-4377 for a free no obligation in-home consultation.
Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, my favorite episode of Turnpike Sports is right now because I love the first week of NFL picks.
NFL season is always the best time of year.
I'm having a lot of fun with college football. I'm really enjoying betting on college football, and I'm doing pretty well. And but NFL, there's something special about NFL.
I have to admit, I'm still not a college football fan. I am not a college. I for some reason I've never gotten into college football, and it's just one of those things where maybe it's me. I don't know, but I'm not a fan of the college game because number one, I don't like seeing a 300-yard rusher in a game.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
I
love that.
There's just something about college football that I can't get into, and maybe it's just there's so many games to maybe it's overwhelming to me on some level.
That's the best part about it.
I'm just not a fan. I've never watched a full college season. I've never watched anything about college football. It's just never been any kind of interest to me. And
Interesting.
I prefer the pro game.
Oh, yeah, no, pro is there's something about college football. I love the Saturdays in the fall, and, growing up, hear Keith Jackson and things like that. I love that.
The announcers I like,
that.
but, I can't get into the games. I've never been able to watch a full college football game, even when I'm attending one. When I was in college, I never was able to stay for an entire football game for college football. It's just something about the game that doesn't hit me the right way.
Really?
And
interesting.
I'm an oddity, maybe.
Yeah. So. And something special about this NFL's season's pick segment is we welcome Betfred Sports. We're going to be using Betfred numbers, and you're going to see all Betfred things during our pick segment. And it'll
be all Betfred.
I have a pet peeve with a lot of the sports books, especially the apps or the online. It is just the way they're laid out. Betfred, I love the way Betfred is laid out. It's so simple. It's so easy to read, and I love it. That's what makes an effective better for me. You can actually understand the layout and read the points. Some of the sports books here in New Jersey, I mean, they look like a computer from NASA with all these numbers flying across it. But Betfred, I love the way it's set out and easy to follow.
Betfred is probably one of the nicest layouts I've seen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's very efficient. and it's very straight ahead. And you know what? They've been doing this for over 50 years, so they should know.
They're legends.
Yeah.
So they know the business.
Yes,
and they know what people want.
It really, sponsorship aside, it really has become one of my favorite sports books to use because it's so neat and clean. And very
easy to follow.
Use.
And we have a great show coming up for you. We got a Beatin The House segment. And the Betfred NFL pick segment coming up. But for my interview, I'm interviewing a guy I've interviewed a lot, Lloyd Levenson. He's a amazing gaming attorney. He's also one of the organizers of the East Coast Gaming Congress, and that's going to be held from September 21st to the 23rd in Hard Rock Casino in Atlantic City on the boardwalk.
Yes.
And we're going to talk all about the ECGC when I talk with Lloyd Levenson a little later on today. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
This week, we're going to be talking about Ontario sports betting and also iGaming because, finally, the first set of numbers have come out from iGaming Ontario.
You told me this earlier in the week, and you said, Ontario put their numbers out.
Yes.
I was like, okay, whatever. And I just realized, wait, this is the first time ever they've put their numbers out. So,
well, remember, before they began the regulated gaming, they were all gray market operators, and so now this is the first time they're having, and it's also
I'm used to markets. I'm used to markets every month putting their
sometimes every week
their numbers out. New York does it every week, but Ontario. When was it? When did they start?
They started.
What was it?
April 4th.
April 4th, and this is the first time they're putting their numbers.
They're doing it quarterly.
Okay, they're doing it quarterly,
and this is not even all the numbers, by the way.
Okay,
so. But again, this is a combined report of iGaming and sports betting to begin with.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Ontario just released everything.
Yes.
When you say gaming expansion.
And I have to admit,
Ontario went off the charts on that one.
I have to admit, there's something about seeing the first numbers and getting everybody's initial reaction to it. And even my initial reaction was like, oh, okay. It was a mixed bag of results here.
Really?
Yes.
Boy, they were talking it up for months. I was expecting the numbers to be astronomical.
In terms of handle, it was a great number.
Oh, sure.
They had 3.11 in U.S. dollars. Let's just do it U.S. dollars because it's nice and easy for us to do it that way. $3.11 billion over the first 3 months.
That's in handle.
That's in handle.
Okay.
Now, if it was just sports betting, they'd rival New York. Mm-hmm. But this is sports betting and online casinos.
Okay, this is everything.
And online poker.
Okay, this is everything.
This is everything.
All right.
So it's a great number to start with.
Absolutely.
Not a tremendously impactful number if you want to think about it.
I think it's good to start off with.
Yes.
For
a brand new market, yes.
And remember, they have restrictions on advertising and things like that. And promos. And so they're, I'm not sure if categorizing them as fighting with one hand tied behind their back when they have restricted advertising, but it is a different kind of way to reach people in Canada than New York.
The one thing I always have to remember when we're talking about Ontario, a lot of the books that should be making an impact already operated there as gray market books.
Oh, okay.
But the numbers are, like I said, a mixed bag. The handle was good. 3.11 billion. I'm thinking a lot of people were expecting a bigger number because if it's a combined number of 31
was it April?
31 websites generated 3.11 billion total combined iGaming sports betting.
Okay.
And in terms of revenue, $123.8 million in revenue, which is not great either.
Okay.
I mean, the revenue side, they kind of you have.
Well, let me ask you something.
New Jersey generated more, Michigan generated more, Pennsylvania generated more. We're looking at individual states generating more revenue than a province.
Well, province, I'm not quite sure of how big it is.
14.5 million people.
Okay.
New Jersey, which has 8.9 billion, pulled in a combined 8.9 million.
Yeah.
Pulled in a combined $557 million in revenue.
Okay.
That's revenue, not handle.
All right.
So they beat Ontario by 4 or 5 times in terms of revenue.
Well, I'm very curious. I know they have, licensed operators now. I'm wondering how much the gray market is still taking away money and customers from the licensed markets.
Well, I'm curious.
Is it still operating there like it has been always?
There's still a lot of them operating.
So I'm curious how much.
They're trying to stamp it out.
Yeah, I know they're trying to stamp it out, but I'm just curious how much the gray market is taking away from the licensed
or has
market,
taken away.
Or has taken away from
and
the
also,
market.
you got to remember, this is from iGaming Ontario, and the numbers don't include the Ontario Lottery website, ProLine Plus, which is another sports betting and iGaming setup.
Okay.
So those things may affect or impact these numbers. These aren't really the final numbers for the first
So
quarter.
the experts are still chewing on these numbers and looking at other things.
In terms of the
I like the fact they finally released them.
They went
nice.
through everything. They released the number of active accounts, 492,000.
Okay.
Out of a population of 14.5 million, 492,000 active accounts.
Well, not a lot of people.
Exactly.
It's gambling. Not you don't have to register.
Well, again,
if you don't like gambling. So
you probably still got more people registered for the gray than you do the license.
Well, that's
so.
I'm curious about that. How much is the gray market still a factor?
And the average spend for each account per month, $86.
Okay.
And I'm putting this all in American money.
U.S. money.
U.S. money.
Yeah.
It's not the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar sounds much better.
Is it the Canadian dollar?
I don't know how you say it. It's Canadian dollar.
Is something called the loonie up there? Is that a coin?
I think that's a coin.
Okay.
But it's 4.8 billion in terms of Canadian funds.
Okay.
How about that? 162 million revenue in terms of Canadian dollars. So, again, I think the best I can come up with is it's a good start.
Absolutely.
Probably a lot of people were anticipating a lot more, and a lot of people were probably anticipating a lot less. Like I said, it's a mixed bag. The handle number sounds good for the first 3 months.
Well, look, I think this is only going to grow. It's going to get bigger.
I would hope
so. I love the fact they did everything. They did online sports betting. They did online casinos. They did online poker. Good for them.
Well, you also got to realize
that's the way to expand. If you're going to expand your gambling market, do everything.
But I think this is going to be interesting to watch the NFL season, the NBA season.
Yep.
And when the major sports, especially the NHL, which hockey and NBA are really two huge sports up there for Canadians.
And also, they started, especially sports betting, they kind of started in kind of a slow time. I mean, certainly they had
June. You got to say June was the slow month because May and
April they had April and May, they had the NHL and they had the NBA and things like that. But, it's still, they included in those numbers were some slow months.
Yeah.
So it should be really interesting how the football season starts up and especially the hockey season up there.
Also, I'm curious to see the ProLine numbers too.
I asked, I forgot who I had on for, I think it was from Better Collective.
Greg
Warren, from Canada. I asked him what was the biggest sport in Canada that I don't think of as a popular betting activity. He said curling.
You almost said
hurling. Hurling. After all those little bats. Yeah, no, but curling apparently. Well, who knew?
From what I remember, the first numbers that
it's not the number one sport
about,
bet on, but it's an important sport that people bet on in Canada.
But a lot of people thought hockey would be the biggest sport people would be.
That's what I did.
It was basketball. NBA with the
yeah.
Toronto Raptors and all that. But
I think that's what I asked Greg. Is it hockey? Is hockey number one? He said no. Well,
I'm just curious to see how the CFL does.
It's very popular.
Yeah, I wonder how the CFL is going to do, the NFL, all the football. I wonder how all those are going to impact the numbers. So it'll be fun to see them exactly what happens the next quarter. Hopefully they start releasing them monthly, which would be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
Exit 2.
I think it goes without saying that gamers are very, very intense about what they do.
Yes.
Well, a couple gamers took it to a whole new level with regards to gambling streams on Twitch.
Okay.
3 of them got into a fight, an actual physical altercation.
I thought Twitch was online.
Yes.
How are they in a fight?
This was at a conference.
Oh, they were in a conference.
They were at a conference.
God.
It was called Gamescom.
All right.
And 3 Twitch streamers. One was morally against gambling.
All right.
The other 2 were promoting gambling on their streams.
Okay.
So
who started the fight?
It depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Basically, what happened was Twitch started allowing the gamers to stream gambling-sponsored content.
All right.
They did it very quietly. They created this whole new channel called Slots, where you can actually stream your slots play.
Okay.
That was endorsed by,
How exciting.
But it was sponsored by a lot of the gambling companies.
All right. Hey, what a great way to show your new slot machines. But as a viewer, I'm not sure how exciting that would be.
They are some of the most popular channels on Twitch.
Okay. All right. See, they're popular because, we're going to be talking. I'm curious to see what they're all about. If someone says, someone's playing a slot machine, I'll check it out, but I'm not sure how exciting it's going to be.
Here's what it looks like. You ever see the gaming streams where they're actually playing whatever the shoot 'em up games are?
Yeah.
And you got the little guy in the corner talking about what he's doing.
Yeah.
The same thing. You see the slot screen, and the guy's in the corner talking to his audience while he's playing the slots.
Okay.
And people get to see the jackpots. They get to see the different win combinations, and the streamer talks about them.
Okay. I mean, hey, if that excites you, whatever. It's to each their own.
According to the reports here, and by the way, I'm doing this story just because I love saying these handles these guys have.
Okay.
Tansverbot approached Orange Morgangy. Orange Morgangy. Morgangy. Morgange.
All right.
And Skurros.
Okay, that's the other guy's name.
About the moral implications of doing gambling streams on Twitch.
All right.
According to, I'm just going to say Orange and Skurros, they took exception to Tansverbot calling them out on the morality of what they were doing.
Okay.
Supposedly, Tansverbot took it upon himself to go after these two guys at this conference. Skurros has MMA friends who were supposedly protecting him in this, but Orange and Tansverbot got into it a little bit. There was a scuffle. Another person tried to break it up, and she was called Quite Lola.
Okay.
And she got knocked to the ground.
All right. And so is this all, this was on Twitch, you said?
No, this was in physical reality.
Okay, but was it recorded somewhere?
Because
I would love to see this.
Somebody's got something like this. They got to have their phone videos.
I would love to see this.
And it just goes to the point that, I don't know how many Twitch streamers are sponsored by gambling companies right now, but it seems like all the reports, this has become one of the most popular categories on Twitch.
Okay.
And it's not. But the problem is, it's streamed to people under 21.
All right. Well,
and there's no way to stop that. And also it's unlicensed companies too.
Well, look. There's a lot of people, opposed to gambling, and that's fine. They have their right to their opinion. But I don't know if you should be, approaching other people with different opinions and things like that. If you're opposed to gambling, make your thoughts known on Twitch. If you're that popular, you have a Twitch channel or whatever you have, say, you know what, I'm opposed to gambling, and I'm not going to be represented or promote any gambling sites, and that's great. That's up to you. So,
again,
I wouldn't approach people who
I wouldn't physically get into a physical altercation.
I don't know who started anything.
They're all saying the other person started it.
Yeah. Well, look. If you're morally opposed to gambling, again, I don't know who started this. You should be morally opposed to violence and hitting and arguing. You can't be morally opposed. You can be morally opposed to one thing, but have your morally opposition views consistent with other morally opposition views. So if you're opposed to gambling, just say you're opposed to gambling. Again, I don't know who started it.
Like I said,
if something gets heated, walk away.
Twitch has been extremely quiet about the channel, and they're extremely quiet about this incident.
Okay.
And
I want to see it. I really want to see it.
The reason I'm going to bring in somebody we've had on the show in the past who was quoted in this the articles.
Okay.
Jeff Ifra.
Oh, sure. Okay.
He did an interview with Wired magazine a while back about what Twitch was doing, and his statement was, streams of gambling content with unlicensed casinos could face a potential legal action from the U.S. Department of Justice.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be interesting to watch how this develops. I don't know what Twitch or Amazon, Amazon is the one who owns Twitch.
Well, look, I mean,
I don't know what they're going to be doing.
If you go to our website, and they're affiliates with us that are licensed operators in this country, and we had to get licenses for certain things. You just can't broadcast or put on a website, an unlicensed company and expect to do business in the U.S.
Yes.
So, Jeff is completely right. I said Lloyd is a famous gaming attorney, and Jeff Iffer is a famous gaming attorney too. So whatever he says is right on point.
Exactly.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly. Ding dong, Drizzly.
Exit 3.
Today's NFT exit is going to, I actually called it an NFT exit. Well, the cryptocurrency, blockchain, whatever you want to call this, whatever this has become, NFTs are now being minted by Ticketmaster.
Well, see, I knew NFTs were being used as tickets. What was the NFL used them last year?
Through Ticketmaster.
Oh, it was through Ticketmaster. Okay. So, now this makes sense.
Ticketmaster has partnered with a company called Flow, which is a blockchain company that creates or mints NFTs. As a matter of fact, Flow is a subsidiary of Dapper Labs.
Okay.
Which has to deal with the NFL, NBA, also, what is it? The Rams just did a deal with them, too, for NFTs, what do they call them? The NBA moments.
Okay.
Which are basically highlight reels, or one highlight of a player with which unlocks something else.
Now, look, I've never gotten a ticket that's an NFT. How does this work? I mean, you basically get the NFT. You get the NFT ticket, but how do you show it? Through your phone, right? You just go up and you show your phone.
These are not being used as tickets.
Oh, okay.
This is
It's
very
a
interesting. This is a very interesting way of doing these NFTs.
Okay.
Now, we know you mentioned the Super Bowl that the NFTs were for. Ticketmaster had done 70,000 one-of-one virtual commemorative ticket NFTs.
Okay.
They were not used as tickets.
Okay, so they
were used. They took the seat location of the person's ticket. They made a replica of the ticket.
Okay.
And they made it a commemorative NFT.
See, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah,
I would do that. Yeah.
It's a digital memorabilia.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people go to games, they keep their tickets.
Well, according to Ticketmaster, what they've done now, they've expanded this deal because Ticketmaster and Flow did these NFTs for the Super Bowl. Before.
Okay.
For the upcoming season, the National Football League, NFL, will offer NFTs minted on Flow to every attendee at more than 100 games.
Okay.
It was just the Super Bowl last time.
Okay.
And there were a couple other games that were trying
and you
them out,
don't.
too.
Do you have to purchase these, or are these just given to people?
You have to purchase them in addition to purchasing your ticket.
All right. Okay.
They're going to do over 100 games.
All right.
And including at least 3 home games from all 32 clubs.
See, that's a great thing. I know a lot of people collect their tickets.
Yes.
They keep them in a scrapbook. And to have an NFT, I mean, I guess you don't need a physical scrapbook anymore.
Well, these tickets are going to have post utility.
Okay.
When you purchase an NFT for these games, after you purchase your ticket, really, these will unlock a whole bunch of live event experience things.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
You're going to have VIP engagements. You're going to have loyalty rewards. You're going to have a whole bunch of different utility features added to these NFT memorabilia, I guess, tickets.
Good.
I guess what you call it. And it'll be interesting to see exactly how this expands because Ticketmaster said they're going to be using the NFT technology not only for football, but they're going to expand it to other live events.
Okay, good.
So if you go to a concert, there may be something like a backstage pass.
See, that's
to
pretty cool. I like that, yeah.
So it'll be fun to see exactly where Ticketmaster goes with this. I think the NFL, NBA, all the major sports leagues would probably benefit the most from NFTs, especially the championship games.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine getting a whole set of 7-game tickets for NBA.
Yeah.
And having all NFTs. I mean, even if you don't reach 7 games in the series.
I keep thinking about these NFTs. You know, I every time I go by a sports memorabilia store, you know, I'm thinking, how does this NFT really affect them? Because all of a sudden, these NFTs are becoming sports memorabilia.
Well, there are.
You know, we're going to have a story. Your next exit is about a big sports memorabilia object, and I'm just wondering, you know, how will the NFT market affect the sports memorabilia market?
Well, the NFT market is actually handling the memorabilia side fine.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
well, I mean, these guys who own stores and stuff like that you have these physical
guys, the mom and pop guys, they're going to be hurt.
Well, you know,
to
I
a
guess
certain extent,
down the road, you know.
But then again, you also got a whole slew of audience that doesn't want an NFT. They want the physical item.
Sure.
So, again, good with the bad, as always. But like you mentioned, we might as well just move on to the next exit and start talking about more memorabilia.
Okay.
Exit 4.
Last exit of the day, we've got a sports memorabilia record to talk about.
Yep.
And it's not an NFT.
No, it's not an NFT.
This
you mean an actual physical baseball card? Is that what you're talking about?
This is basically what we're talking about.
You're actually holding it in your hands?
I believe it's an actual physical card encased in lucite, like they all used to be.
Yeah.
We have a mint condition Mickey Mantle baseball card selling for $12.6 million.
Unbelievable.
This was at the most recent auction by Heritage. Heritage Auction basically handles just about every kind of sports memorabilia auction there is.
Do you know how many conversations this week were in homes that said, you know, my grandfather had a whole box of these cards and we threw them away, and you know, we even had a discussion. Yeah, you know, I have a box of baseball cards somewhere in the basement that I gotta go look for. So this always motivates people to say, "Oh my God, I used to have all those cards and they're gone," or I have cards and I gotta go find them. So,
well, I have a baseball program from Fenway Park that has Derek Jeter's signature on his very first game in Fenway Park.
Yeah.
So they're everyone's got something.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting to see what Mickey Mantle's card fetched. $12.6 million, blew by the most recent record for any purchase of memorabilia, the $9.3 million jersey worn by Diego Maradona when he did the Hand of God goal.
Yep.
And I looked up the Hand of God goal just to see exactly what that was, because I had thought somebody else had done a Hand of God goal, but this was a 1986 World Cup. Mm-hmm. And his jersey went for $9.3 million. It was the goal where he did it looked like from one angle he did a header to do the winning goal. Mm-hmm. But when you look at it from the other side, he's got his hand up here, and he hit it with the outside of his fist.
Okay.
And the referee missed it. So that was called the Hand of God goal.
That's the great thing about these memorabilia stories. It makes you look back at, number one, the person's career that the memorabilia is about, and when they talk about the soccer goal, I mean, you went back and looked at it.
Yes.
So that's the great thing about these stories about the memorabilia.
And the previous baseball record, Honus Wagner baseball
sure,
card.
Yeah.
$7.25 million, $7.25 million. Wow. For a century-old Honus Wagner card.
Yeah.
And then if you go in order, 12.6 for Mickey Mantle, 9.3 for Maradona's jersey, 7.25 for the Honus Wagner baseball card. In fourth place, we have the heavyweight boxing belt reclaimed by Muhammad Ali from the Rumble in the Jungle. That went for $6.2 million.
Wow.
So those basically are the top 4 memorabilia sales.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to see how the memorabilia market has grown too, because back before the pandemic, it was estimated the sports memorabilia market, would be around $5.4 billion.
Yeah.
That'd be a $5.4 billion industry. Right now, it's $26 billion.
Wow. Well, like I said, this sparks people to go down to their basement to look for what baseball or football cards they have. The problem is, they're, like I said, mine are in a basement, so I have no idea what condition they're in, and it's all about condition.
Yeah.
You can have this rare Mickey Mantle card. It could have ripped edges and things like that, but this one was in mint condition.
I have to admit, when I was getting comics, the big thing for me was deciding which ones to put in the comic bag, which protects it from...
There's actually a comic bag?
There's a comic bag. It's supposed to protect it from the carbon dioxide in the air, turning the pages yellow. Yeah. No. No, it's a BS thing.
Well, the problem with... If I did find a relatively rare baseball card in my bag, I wouldn't know how to put it in the safe place. I wouldn't know what to do. Put it in, I don't know if you put it in styrofoam or not styrofoam.
Well,
but
baseball cards you put in
lucite.
lucite. Baseball cards you usually put in lucite.
Well, you'd have to get that done.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to know exactly what you're doing with it because the lucite process could actually damage.
Or
the
they have
card
the plastic things. They have the
little plastic holders.
The plastic and they
But again, when you're dealing with that stuff, you got to look at not just protecting the card itself from with the plastic. The plastic's affected by the room temperature, the humidity, the moisture,
like I said,
all that stuff, the light, the dark.
I don't know where my baseball cards are. I know they're in a basement somewhere, but I don't know what condition they're in.
Yeah,
so it's all about condition.
It's all about condition. And
that's why this Mickey Mantle was 12.6. It was great condition.
It was in
near mint condition. I guess
it was actually one of the highest rated baseball cards ever auctioned off. Last note for this: the market is anticipated to grow even more from the $26 billion that I mentioned in 2021. 10 years from now, $227 billion the market's going to be estimated to be.
Wow.
That's an incredible market right there.
And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up. We got a Beatin the House segment. Then we got the Betfred Sports Pro Pick segment, first of the year. I'm so excited about it. But right after this, I'm talking with gaming attorney and organizer of the East Coast Gaming Congress, Lloyd Levenson, which is being held from September 21st to the 23rd at the Hard Rock Atlantic City Casino. It's just going to be an amazing event, and Lloyd's going to tell us all about it when we come back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use the offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. Dave Weischadle with you here. For a person who's working in or interested in the gambling industry, one of the most important conferences you can attend is the East Coast Gaming Congress and Next Gen Gaming Forum. Now in its 25th year, it's being held from September 21st to the 23rd at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. With us today, we have one of the organizers of this great event. Lloyd Levenson is an attorney and chief executive officer of the law firm of Cooper Levenson and is one of the most well-known gaming lawyers in this country. And we are lucky to have Lloyd Levenson on the phone with us right now. Lloyd, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Nice to be with you again.
It's great talking to you. I got to tell you, I love the East Coast Gaming Congress. It's one of the great events of the year. But for people who don't know, what is the East Coast Gaming Congress?
Well, first of all, let me just say that the former chief executive of the American Gaming Association publicly stated at our conference several years ago that he believed that our conference was the best in the nation.
It absolutely
is. It's not just us pounding our chests and say we put on a good show. The head of the American Gaming Association has never said that about any other conference. So we're very proud of it. We started it, Mike Pollock and I, who's head of Spectrum Gaming, and I started this 25 years ago, and it's amazing that it's still going on, and it's getting stronger and stronger every year, if that's possible.
Well, I want to ask you about that. First off, congratulations on the 25th anniversary of the ECGC. I mean, 25 years ago, when you first held your first East Coast Gaming Congress, did you think it would last this long and evolve into one of the most important conferences for the gaming industry?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that question. When it first started and how it started was Mike Pollock was finishing up on his last day as the public information officer for the Casino Control Commission. Mm-hmm. And he was going into the private world. And at that time, there was and still is, a huge conference in Las Vegas. At that time, it was called the World Gaming Congress. Now it's G2E. And there was a gaming conference in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And Atlantic City at that time was the second largest gaming venue to Nevada. And Mike came in to see me and said, this is not right. I mean, we got nothing like this in Atlantic City. Why don't we start a gaming conference? And we said, that's a great idea. And then after we said that, we looked at each other and we said, how do you do it? I don't know. And he said, I don't know. And so we started, and we actually was first called the Rutgers University Gaming Symposium because we got Rutgers involved. Mm-hmm. And then years went by, and they left us, and it was the Mid-Atlantic Gaming Congress. And then now it's the East Coast Gaming Congress, which is still a misnomer because we get attendees from all over the nation, Canada, the Caribbean. So although it's called East Coast Gaming Congress, and we've left that because we like the acronym ECGC, it is a bit of a misnomer. We get people from all over the world coming to our Congress.
Well, I got to ask you, I mean, over the past 25 years, the gaming industry has really evolved into something really amazing in the U.S. and all over the world. I mean, you have the rise of iGaming, emergence of sports betting. I mean, esports has become extremely popular and something that people can actually place bets on in some jurisdictions. In your experience doing this conference over the last 25 years and working in the gaming industry, what were some of the big events that transformed the gaming industry in what it became into today?
One of the big events of the last 25 years was the acknowledgement and recognition by regulators around the country that they ought to stick, and they've pretty much done that, stick to matters of integrity and good character and honesty, and allow the businesses to be businesses. And 25 years ago, regulators were, and a lot of them would admit this, maybe too much involved in the business of gaming as opposed to the regulation of gaming. So that's one of the things that has evolved over the last 25 years. The two other huge initiatives that changed the face of gambling was the introduction of internet gaming back in New Jersey was 2013, and sports wagering that came into being as a result of the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in 2018. So sports gaming has proliferated to more than 24 jurisdictions over the last 4 years, and iGaming has not gotten that as widespread as that, even though it should, because iGaming actually brings more to the table of a jurisdiction as far as taxes than the sports wagering. In New Jersey and Pennsylvania, for example, I think it's like 3 times as much. And so one of the things that I think you're going to see over the next, I'm not going to say 25 years because I ain't doing this for another 25 years. But you're going to see over the next few years is iGaming proliferating throughout the country because it makes so much money for the jurisdiction, and particularly live gaming that's doing tremendously in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and Michigan and West Virginia, and that is led by Evolution, which is a company that has no peer, where you go and gamble on the internet. Let's say you want to play roulette. You actually play with a human being on the other end of your computer, and that person spins the ball in roulette, or you play blackjack, and you can converse back and forth with that person. So it's not a virtual game; it's a real game. It's just over the internet as opposed to in a casino. So the internet gaming is going to expand dramatically, and sports wagering is not finished yet. There's still many jurisdictions that have not adopted it and will. So those are two of the things that changed the face of gaming over the last 25 years.
So since it is the 25th anniversary of the ECGC, do you have anything special planned to celebrate the milestone during the conference?
Well, we have a cocktail. I hate to talk about alcohol, but but I guess gaming, alcohol, marijuana. But we won't have any marijuana, even though it's legal in New Jersey now. We're actually having on the night of the 22nd. We're having a cocktail party. We're calling the Silver Anniversary Celebration at Council Oak Steak and Seafood Restaurant at the Hard Rock, where the event is taking place. And it'll be although we've had cocktail receptions every year for the last 25 years, this one's going to be special.
Now, I tell everyone who asks me, the East Coast Gaming Congress is one of those great events where the speakers you have are the people who write the articles that you read every year or make the policy that affect gaming for that year. Who are some of the speakers that you have this year?
Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, they are.
There's a lot, but people normally are interested in who the top people are that are going to be speaking, and so we have industry leaders, 2 industry leader roundtables, and we have, without saying their names, their representatives, the CEOs, are gaming leaders of Resorts World, Casino, Mohegan, Caesars, 10. I know there's the head of the Wind Creek Casino, and then we have Tom Reeg, who runs the whole Caesars operation, and many more. I just don't have my fingertips right this moment. So those are the leaders of the gaming companies, and those are leaders of gaming companies that are not merely a head of one casino, even though that's an important position. But these people are head of a company full of casino operations, and then we have various panels where the titles like the best things in gaming right now are, and a regulator panel, and then we have a smoking panel, or maybe call it a non-smoking panel, depending upon their position, a responsible gaming panel, basically a Wall Street panel. By the way, we also, I just recalled, we have David Cordish is coming, and Jay Dar, head of the PCI Gaming Authority, which is Wind Creek, and then Jason Goyat from Foxwoods, and Brian Hansberry from Delaware North. And those are the I'll call them the headliners if you want. But there's executives and regulators from Virginia, from FanDuel, from Nickel-G's, which is the National Conference of Legislators from gaming states. We have Wall Street people from Houlihan Lokey and Credit Suisse. Fitch. I can really go on. Mark Giantonio is going to speak about smoking, where it's very hotly discussed in New Jersey whether there should be a complete ban or not. And then there's Eric Hausler from Parks, which Parks has now a policy. I think now, I know it was up till recently, or maybe continuing, of no smoking, and they're doing very well. So we have Howard Mittman, who's president of 888 US, which is the company that runs Sports Illustrated Sports, SI Sports, which is now a company that's going around the country now, setting up operations under the name of SI Sports. Everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, but most of us in our lives have gotten the Sports Illustrated magazine when we were younger. So it's a big name, and they are hoping that name will draw a lot of customers. So I'm afraid I'm probably leaving. I know I'm leaving a lot of people out, but people can go to our website, which is eastcoastgamingcongress.com/register/, and they can find out. They can register, and they can see who is on every panel. And if they can't get there, they can just go to eastcoastgamingcongress.com for the program.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about some of the panels, because you have some of the topics that I don't see anywhere else. I mean, you mentioned the smoking issue. It's called Going Up in Smoke, and I think it's such a topical issue because it's such big news, especially in Atlantic City and in parks in Pennsylvania as well. Where do you think that issue is headed? I mean, do you see a resolution in that conflict relatively soon? Because it's been all over the news lately, and I'm really glad you're having a panel on that.
Yeah, it reminds me of a litigation, where each side calls an expert.
Yeah.
And one expert says X, and the other expert says Y, and so who's right? The Spectrum did a report for the Casino Association in New Jersey, where they say that if you eliminate smoking completely, the revenue will go down dramatically. The other side got a report which says it'll have no effect. I can tell you that when Revel, who you may remember, now known as Ocean Casino, when they first started, the idea was to have no smoking. It was roundly criticized by gamblers, and so they went somewhere else. And so, there is a difference between casinos in Pennsylvania, which are separated geographically, as opposed to casinos in Atlantic City, which you can basically broad jump from one to another. And so, it's not as painful, I guess, if you have locals who come to your casino in Pennsylvania. They're going to say, all right, well, I'd rather not smoke than travel, 45 minutes, an hour, or whatever to the next casino. Atlantic City, we have to draw people, and if you're a smoker and you don't want to come, you don't want to not smoke in the casino, well, maybe you're going to stay home and go to your local casino, because that's the thing that, hurt Atlantic City to begin with Pennsylvania casinos, is that people could stay local and gamble, and so why should they take the trip to Atlantic City, even though we have this, the ocean and the beach and boardwalk and a lot of casinos. So, there are arguments on both sides. I'm not a dealer. I don't breathe in secondhand smoke, so I have no personal stake in this whatsoever. I just certainly hope that if there's a decision to somehow ban smoking in Atlantic City, that it does not affect the revenue of the casinos, because that affects the tax money and affects the people that benefit from the gaming tax revenue. So I'd like to see a small portion of the casinos stay where you could smoke, and I don't know, there's all kinds of alternatives. You pay somebody more if they if they are in that area. I don't know. Those decision makers, meaning the casino executives, the governor, and the legislature, and whatever, all going to have to make that decision. It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is. It is. And speaking of Atlantic City, I see on the 22nd of September, you have an update from the New Jersey Casino Control Commission. I mean, we had James Plosis on the show a while back discussing Atlantic City and the casino industry in New Jersey. Now, Cooper Levenson is the premier gaming law firm in New Jersey and the country. How do you see the health of the casinos in Atlantic City? I mean, we're emerging from the pandemic. We're going through some tough economic times, and I know Atlantic City has been in the news lately with regard to some labor issues, and I just wanted to get your take on the general health of the casino industry in New Jersey.
All right. Well, first of all, the labor issues have been resolved, and they have a contract for 3 or 4 years, so let's put that on the back, way on the back burner. The sports wagering and internet gambling has helped. There is the misunderstanding amongst some people that those huge amounts that are made as a result of sports wagering and internet go to the bottom line of casinos, and therefore they are doing tremendously well. That's a misunderstanding. While they do benefit to some degree, the main benefit of that gaming goes to the companies that are the platforms that enable the gamblers to gamble on. But hey, listen, there was a discussion a few years ago that by now we would see 3 or 4 fewer casinos. We haven't seen any casinos go by the wayside. I mean, is it tough? Yeah, it's a tough business. We're not, we don't have 12 months of beautiful weather. And so, when December, January, February come, it's something that is a challenge. But hey, Atlantic City has so much to offer, more than many other places around the country and around the world. It's going to last. It has a reputation of keeping reinventing itself. The casinos are spending a lot of money to redo their rooms, their common areas, and the like. And so, occupancy is rather high, and they're not giving away, rooms at, $29. So, they're doing okay. Some are doing better than others, but that's the nature of competition. The most important participant, without offending anyone, of this year's ACGC will be the reappearance of our governor, Phil Murphy.
Yeah, the fourth year in a row, right?
Right, fourth year in a row. He's graced our Congress. We are very thankful for that. He's been a friend of the gaming industry from the very first day he got sworn in his first term. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see him on a ballot in 2024 for another position, but time will tell. But we're excited to have him on. We're excited to have the head of the American Gaming Association, Bill Miller, who's always a very interesting person to hear from as to what's going on in Washington, D.C. He's done a magnificent job of making sure that there's no legislation coming about that would detrimentally impact the gaming industry.
Yeah, I was going to ask you both about Bill Miller and Governor Phil Murphy, especially Governor Murphy. I mean, how important is the relationship between the governor's office and gaming in New Jersey? How closely has he worked with gaming in New Jersey?
Well, there's two sides to things here. The Division of Gaming Enforcement, the Casino Control Commission, they are independent agencies, and the governor's office certainly does not interfere with casino regulation. That they are given the discretion to regulate. But when it comes to the big picture of legislation that might help the casino industry, or legislation that some legislator from a different area tries to promote, which would be detrimental to the casino industry, that's when the governor's office intervenes and says, you know what, slow down. This would not be good for the industry, or speed up. This type of initiative will help the casino industry, and if you present a bill to me, I'll sign it. So they're involved to that degree, but certainly not on the day-to-day regulation of gaming.
I want to ask you about another big topic in gaming, which I've been hearing a lot about lately, and it's covered by the East Coast Gaming Congress, and that's responsible gambling. You have a panel at the Congress called Is Gaming Growing Responsibly? And for us who work in the gaming industry, that's an incredibly important topic. I have a law office in New Jersey that has a pretty established sports betting industry in the state, but I also have another law office right outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and they just passed sports betting into law. And right off the bat, a potential sportsbook says, hey, we want to put sports betting kiosks in our parking garages. And then in Ohio, a high school just applied for a sports betting license. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But as I said, you're one of the top gaming attorneys in this country. In your opinion, how important is responsible gaming, not just for people placing bets, but for regulators who have to decide how sports betting will be implemented in that state?
It's incredibly important to make sure that the individuals who are gambling responsibly, because if it turns out that there is too much gambling by people who don't have the wherewithal to gamble, it doesn't help. The casinos may make a little more money because of the fact that gambler lost, but in the long run, just like the casinos, the brick and mortar casinos don't want underage gamblers, stay away.
Sure.
We don't want your $100 slot to play. Stay away, and it can only hurt us if you're found in there. It's the same thing about responsible gaming. Casinos don't want gamblers who can't afford to gamble. And, there is some misunderstanding about that the, casinos say, listen, it's a free country. You just gamble, and if you're not gambling responsibly, that's your business, not ours, not the casinos. The casinos don't look at it that way. They want to do everything they can to make sure that, and even the platform providers who provide the platforms to the gamblers, nobody wants that, because that can develop into a scandal. And thank goodness, over the umpty years that we've had gaming in this country, there have been very few, if any, scandals with regard to people that are not gambling responsibly, and the casinos are blamed for that. I mean, there's initiatives going on in Great Britain and in Australia to limit the amount that can be gambled. Hopefully that does not happen in the U.S., but it's because they had problems in those countries that those types of limits have been instituted, so that it tries to curb people from gambling irresponsibly. But I think the casinos in certainly in New Jersey, and I think around the country, are very sensitive to that topic, and I think you'll hear that in that panel, that they're doing a very good job, and they need to continue it, so there is no scandal, and then therefore there is no limitation on gambling. Because if there's a limitation on gambling, that helps the person who's an irresponsible gambler, but it hurts the casinos, and it hurts the people who can afford it, because they can only gamble certain amounts, and they should be able to gamble whatever they can afford to gamble.
One of the topics I have been interested in, and a topic that you mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you have a panel on at the East Coast Gaming Congress, and it's called Wither Eye Gaming. States are very eager to allow sports betting within their borders, and I think there's something like over 35 jurisdictions that have made sports betting legal. However, states are very reluctant to allow online casinos or online poker within their jurisdiction. What's your opinion? Why do you think states are eager to allow sports betting but are shying away from allowing online casinos and online poker?
Well, for a number of reasons. One, sports betting has been going on for much longer than it has been legal in America. Okay, people have been gambling on sports illegally or with illegal sites for many, many years, and it's almost become part of our culture to allow or to bet on sports. I mean, people bet, each other on football games, and before it became legal, and so sports betting is something that has been acceptable. It has not been legal in the United States, but it's sort of a wink and a nod before it became legal, and so when all these states are going about legalizing it, it's sort of legalizing something that has already been around for so many years. So, why not just make it legal, regulate it, tax it, make some money out of it? People are going to do it anyway, kind of thing. iGaming, I think it's foolish that it has not proliferated like sports wagering, because, as I said earlier, it actually makes much more money for the jurisdiction than sports wagering. But, there's a couple reasons, I believe. But before I say that, I mean, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, West Virginia, I'm probably missing somebody there, who have legalized iGaming, and it's gone extremely well. They're making a lot of money, meaning the jurisdiction from iGaming. But some of these other jurisdictions are just, they're putting their toe in the water, because I know that there are discussions going on in some states. I won't mention which states they are. But there's a bill, for example, this is public, the bill in New York, that is sitting there waiting for some additional discussion to allow iGaming where huge amounts of money would be made by the New York State if they permitted it. But there's this feeling by some casinos, brick and mortar casinos in various states, that if iGaming comes about, it will. Since I said earlier, the casinos don't make that much money from iGaming, even though the states do. That they're afraid that people will iGame and not come to their casino as much. Well, the opposite is proven true in New Jersey and other places where iGaming is legal. iGaming has caught on with people who haven't come to casinos, and now they get a taste of it, and all of a sudden now they want to come and visit the brick and mortar casinos. It gives the brick and mortar casinos a marketing play, because now if the people iGame, they get to have all their information about that player, so the casinos can market to them, come down, go to a show, go to dinner. So it actually has the effect of increasing, or at least not decreasing, the number of people who gamble at the brick and mortar casino. But I think there is this feeling that maybe it will reduce the number of people who come to the casino. And as I said earlier about sports wagering, that was sort of accepted. iGaming is something new. Fewer people gambled illegally on blackjack and roulette. So this is really more of a new industry than the sports wagering. But I think you're going to see it because every state likes to have extra money in their budget. And so, as I pointed to earlier, I think you look at the statistics of the amount of money wagered on iGaming versus the amount of money wagered in sports, the iGaming revenue dwarfs it. So if the states are looking for extra revenue, there's a place. And I know in the beginning there was this fear of scandals that somebody was going to get their parents' credit card and open up an iGaming. But same thing can happen in sports.
Sure.
So and it hasn't happened. We really there's all kinds of know your customer and age validation and things going on, so that there really hasn't been any problem. So I think by the time you talk to me next year, I would venture to say there could be a couple more states that legalize it. And once it starts, just like the sports wagering thing, once it starts, it's going to proliferate.
Well, for its 25th year, the East Coast Gaming Congress is going to be held at the Hard Rock Casino on the Boardwalk in Atlantic City. Is this the first time the East Coast Gaming Congress has been held at Hard Rock?
Yes. I mean, I think we held it at the Taj Mahal, which was the predecessor of Hard Rock many, many years ago. But the Hard Rock organization has spent a lot of money, and it shows. It's a magnificent hotel casino, as beautiful as one could be, and they have been very kind and generous to have us come to their casino hotel. So it's a magnificent place. For those who haven't seen it, they ought to come. They ought to come anyway, whether they're coming to the East Coast Gaming Congress or not. It's a great place, and it's where we'll be from September 21st to 23rd, as you pointed out in the beginning of this conversation.
What's the best way for someone to register to attend the East Coast Gaming Congress and Next Gen Gaming Forum?
I believe they just go to eastcoastgamingcongress.com, or they can go to the website, which is www.eastcoastgamingcongress.com/register/. That's what it's on the document I'm looking at. So, or they can email me at D like David, Levenson, Levenson, at cooperlevenson.com. And I will personally answer all their questions. And hopefully they will come to Hard Rock and meet the new general manager, Anthony Franca, who's already doing a great job. Joe Lupo, who did a magnificent job, has now moved on to Las Vegas to run the new property, the old Mirage, which the Hard Rock is running. So they got a great organization run by Jim Allen for many, many years. And we know that our Congress will be successful at the Hard Rock.
Lloyd Levenson, Chief Executive Officer at the law firm of Cooper Levenson and organizer of the East Coast Gaming Congress and Next Gen Gaming Forum, which is being held from September 21st to the 23rd at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us all about the event. This is the conference I look forward to attending every year. And congratulations on your 25th year of the East Coast Gaming Congress. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you down there.
Thanks for having me. Look forward to seeing you later in September. And any more questions I can answer for you, anyone else, you now have, everyone has my email address, and be happy to talk to you.
Thanks so much, Lloyd. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. The Turnpike Sports Pro Football Pick segment is brought to you by Betfred Sportsbook. Never miss a bet with Betfred Sportsbook. Betfred Sports brings over 50 years of experience through the United States betting industry. Straight bets, in-play wagering, parlay cards, teasers, and more. Head on over to BetfredSports.com or download the Betfred Sportsbook app in Colorado, Iowa, or Arizona and get in on all the action today. New signups will receive up to $250 in free bets when wagering $50. Download the Betfred Sportsbook app today. Offer valid in Colorado, Iowa, and Arizona only. Visit BetfredSports.com for terms and conditions. Please gamble responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, and 1-800-522-4700 in Colorado.
And welcome to the Turnpike Sports Betfred Sports Pro Pick segment of the show.
Yes, welcome Betfred Sports to our little program here.
We have a brand new football season, a brand new sponsor for the segment in Betfred Sports, and we're looking forward to working with them all season long.
Absolutely.
I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to be doing every year we do this, the professional football picks segment where we do this throughout the entire regular season, the playoffs, and the Super Bowl itself, and we just go basically head-to-head, and we post these picks every week up on our blog, turnpikesports.us. Click on the blog button, and you'll see our picks in the print version on the blog there. What we do normally...
And just a note, this year we're using all of Betfred's lines and totals and things like that. So.
And branding.
Absolutely.
You'll see Betfred all over this segment.
I'm going to point. Are they around here or around here? I don't even know.
Depends on where I put you on the screen.
I don't know.
But it's going to be great working with them.
Sure.
One of the best in the business, one of the longest running, one of the best known sports books, and we're very happy to have them on board. As always, and we'll just go through the rules for the segment before we get into any of the picks themselves.
One place I can point is you'll probably have the lines right below us, right?
Yes,
right. Okay.
Lines below, and lines
right below us.
In the beginning segment here, we've got the big Betfred banner below us.
Yep.
So, what we do is normally 3 games each. We pick 3 games each. We do not do money line bets.
Because that's too easy.
Week one, nothing
I
is
save
easy.
my money lines for my parlays.
Can I tell you something? So. Week one, nothing is easy. Week one is almost the closest to Bizarro world.
This is the most difficult week for me because, look, I really don't. I really should, but I really don't pay attention to preseason because you're really seeing the people who are on the edge trying to make the team. You're not seeing a lot of the starters, and so you really can't evaluate. I'm not at practice, so I don't see how the starters are doing. So, and a lot of teams, especially like the New England Patriots, they treat September almost like an extension of preseason. So
I don't know how their
so
preseason.
So some of these games are going to be tough for me because not everyone's on the same page right now.
No, and it's one of those situations where anything could happen on week one.
Yes.
But what we do, like I was saying, we do 3 games each. We alternate our picks on air. You do one, I do one. We do 3 games, and then we do no money line, but it's only spreads and point totals.
Yep.
Dave, why don't you start?
All right, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Detroit Lions. The Eagles are 4-point favorites with a total of 48.5, and I'm going with the Eagles. I'm telling you straight out, the strength of the Eagles is their running game, and when I also say running game, I also means the scrambling of Jalen Hurts. And I think Hurts is coming into his second year. He's got a lot to prove because I know a lot of people in Philadelphia, some don't think he's the franchise quarterback. So this will be a great proving year for Jalen Hurts, and he's got a lot of weapons to work with, especially their wide receivers. That they got a lot better in the wide receiver, especially with the addition of A.J. Brown. So. And the Lions defense, sorry, Detroit, just terrible. And I think the Eagles are going to win by, I'm thinking they're going to win by a touchdown. So I'm taking the Eagles and laying the points.
Well, that's kind of a good pick. So I can't even disagree with that one.
But like I said, I'm going to stress this constantly. Keep looking at the numbers because they constantly change.
And just before I get into my game here, we are using Tuesday line numbers. So before you make your bets, please check the lines on game day or whenever you're going to be doing it because they will be different after this segment airs. My first game, I normally don't bet on my team, but this week I'm going to make a change here. Week 1, Baltimore Ravens going to the New York Jets. They're in New Jersey. Ravens are favored by a touchdown, 7 points, and the spread is in the total is the over/under is 44.5 points. As we're taping this, Robert Saleh has not announced who his starting quarterback is going to be. He said there's a possibility that Zach Wilson could start, so keep an eye on that. That may even change the spread one way or the other. But regardless of who the starting quarterback is for the New York Jets, I think the work that Joe Douglas did in the offseason was essential to making sure this team got better, and I think they have gotten better. Their defense has gotten better. Their offensive line got better with some of the additions, and even if you count the subtraction of Mekhi Becton out of there, that offensive line is much better than it was last year. Receivers are much better. But again, whether it's Flacco or Zach Wilson, it doesn't really matter. The Ravens, everyone knows, are one of the best teams in the NFL. Both of these teams went undefeated in preseason. I think what you're going to be seeing is a more of a defensive type game between these two teams. I think the Jets' defense is much improved, and all the focus is going to be on the Jets, not the Ravens. The Ravens should win this game, but I'm going with the Jets +7. That's too much of a spread.
My next game is the New England Patriots visiting the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 3-point favorites, and the total is 46.5 points. Look, the Patriots have always had a tough time playing the Dolphins in Miami, even when Tom Brady was the quarterback. Let's take a look at the numbers. New England is 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games. They're 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games against an AFC opponent, and guess what the Miami Dolphins are? Well, let's take a look at the Dolphins numbers. The Dolphins are 7-3-1 against the spread in their last 11 division games and 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 home games. So, given the fact that New England has always had a tough time in Miami, and giving the trends that are going on right now in the betting world, you could really see that I think New England's going to have a tough time. And on top of that, I'm not even sure who the offensive coordinator is. I don't even think they technically have an offensive coordinator named. So, and the Patriots have a second-year quarterback, which is a terrible situation for, I think, Mac Jones to be in. And, I love the Dolphins in this one. I know Belichick is there, and you hate rooting against Belichick, especially in an AFC game. But these aren't the same Patriots, so I'm taking the Miami Dolphins and laying the points.
Well, you got to remember, you think you're confused about who the offensive coordinator is?
Yeah.
I think Mac Jones is more confused about who's giving him the plays, but this is the time to bet against the Patriots. September is usually Belichick's extended preseason.
They're terrible in September.
If you're going to bet against them, do it.
See, I gave you all the numbers and all the trends. Yeah. The one big trend is the Patriots are terrible in September.
The Patriots are terrible against Miami.
They're awful.
Crazy.
Historically bad when they play the Dolphins in Miami. It's just absolutely stunning. I mean, Tom Brady looked like a different quarterback when he was playing for the Patriots in Miami. So, I'm very confident in the Miami Dolphins this week.
My next game, I'm going to go with an AFC West showdown already. The Las Vegas Raiders visiting the Los Angeles Chargers.
Wow.
The spread,
good game, too.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. The spread is Chargers favored by 3.
Okay.
And the over-under, and let me get this right.
By the way, I'm
52.
heavy into the Chargers this year. So
I
made some future bets, and mid-August, I fall in love with the Chargers every year. So I did it again this year, too.
And then by October, you're kind of off the bandwagon, basically. Right. But again, the Chargers come back basically almost the same team they were last year. They made a couple additions. I think they bolstered their offensive line a little bit as well. I think what you got to look at is what the Raiders did in the offseason, bringing Devontae Adams over from the when they got him from the Packers. Derek Carr is going to be a very, very dangerous quarterback this year.
I think so.
I think he's going to be probably throwing for over 5,000 yards. The Raiders are my pick with going over 9 in that division, over 9 wins for that division, which is going to be, that's the toughest division in football right now.
Yeah.
But I really like what the Raiders did in the offense. Both teams have explosive offenses. Both teams have good defenses. Like I said, I picked 9 wins total for the season. I don't know if this is going to be one of those wins, but I'm doing silver and the black on the road in L.A. +3.
All right, my last game is the New York Giants visiting the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are favored by 5.5 points, and the total is 43.5. I looked at this game and I was wondering where the points are going to come from. I mean, Daniel Jones hasn't exactly lit it up for the Giants offense, and the Titans don't have Julio Jones or A.J. Brown anymore, so I think it's going to be a steady diet of Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry for the team. So if you like running backs, watch this one. And I think it's going to be a grind them out kind of a game. And I'm thinking it's going to be like a 20-17 kind of game. And by the way, I don't care who wins because both these teams are so – I'm so unenthusiastic about either of these teams. But I think what this makes for is a low-scoring game. Like I said, I think it's going to be like 20-17. So I'm taking the under 43.5 points in this one.
Well, the Giants' offense has not worked out the way anybody has wanted it to. So – that might be the best call.
Talk about a
game.
Quarterback who has a lot to prove. So
Daniel
Jones, I'm very curious to see what happens with him and how he does. But I'm not expecting any great things.
I'm very curious to see how Dayball's offense works over there. And he just announced earlier this week that he's not going to be calling the plays.
Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be fun to watch to see exactly what happens there.
I don't think this one's going to be fun to watch. I think it's going to be running back left, running back right for both teams.
I think for the Giants fans, this is going to be a painful season to watch how this turns out. But my last game for the week, the Indianapolis Colts visiting the Houston Texans. The Colts are favored by 8 points right now. And there's an over-under of 46 at the time we're taping.
A lot of people are expecting great things from the Colts.
Well, the Colts replaced Carson Wentz with Matt Ryan.
Which
immediate upgrade.
Good move.
Immediate upgrade.
Very good move.
More consistent, more stability at the quarterback position for them. I actually was really surprised at Houston's quarterback, Davis Mills. Mm-hmm. He was actually very, very good last year, and I think he's going to get better being second year in the offense, really. They're giving him the starting job and see exactly where they can go with that. Even with all that mess that happened with Deshaun Watson, I think you're going to see at least a good offense out of Houston, and you're going to see a good offense out of the Colts, and you may end up getting basically a surprise shootout here. I mean, I'm thinking you may see like 30-28, 28-24.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm going with the over 46. The Texans, the over is 4-1 in the Texans' last 5 games overall, and 5-1 in their last 6 games as a home underdog. And that was last season.
Mm-hmm.
So, take those numbers with a grain of salt since we're starting a new season. But I'm going the over 46 here.
All right.
So let's recap, go through your picks.
Well, I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles and laying the points. I am taking the under 43.5 points in the New York Giants-Tennessee Titans game. And I'm taking the Miami Dolphins laying the points against the New England Patriots.
And I'm doing Jets +7, Raiders +3, and the over 46 in the Colts-Houston game. So that's it for our first week of the Betfred Sports Pro Picks segment. Again, these picks will be up on the blog after this show is released. Head on over to turnpikesports.us, click on the blog button, and you will see these points in written form there. Feel free to comment. Feel free to make your own picks. info@turnpikesportsradio.com as well.
Oh, good luck, everyone. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
With Drizzly, I can shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly also lets me shop from multiple stores in my area and compare prices on thousands of products.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE.
People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of Beatin The House. I'm Doug Weischadle here with Dave Weischadle. We're going to be talking about casino jackpots, slot jackpots, bad beats, pie gal sometimes, any kind of jackpot that occurs in the gaming industry, even a lottery jackpot. We got a couple of those this week.
Okay.
We're going to be talking about. Keep the press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll keep doing the segment because, quite frankly, we're not only getting brand new casinos sending us information, we're getting news about new games, news about different games, all that stuff. So it's always great to get something new in every week. And this is the first time, to go right into this, we're going to start off with 3 straight $1 million jackpots.
Okay. Well, I know one was a poker one, wasn't it?
That's what we're going to start with.
That was the big story this week.
We have a world record bad beat jackpot, $1.2 million. This happened at the Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh. Benjamin Flanagan of West Virginia took home nearly $500,000 when I can't believe this, when he was beaten by a royal flush. His 4 aces were beaten by a royal flush.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
I've never heard of quad aces being beaten.
Well,
that's why it's a bad beat.
That's why it happens. That's the definition of a bad beat.
Well, his 4 aces were beat by the royal flush, played by Raymond Broderson. These are all names in the press releases. I'm not reporting anything that they didn't give out publicly, so I just want to put that out there. The Rivers bad beat jackpot was triggered when the 4 aces were beat by the royal flush.
Wow.
Broderson, who had the winning hand, won $368,000. Benjamin won nearly $500,000 because he had the losing hand. The losing hand gets 40%. The winning hand gets 30%.
Yeah.
And the rest of it gets split between the tables.
The people on the table, right?
At the table.
Okay, there's not like it's not like one of those Red Rock.
No, Red Rock.
Wait, was it Red Rock? No, Stations
Casinos.
Yeah, Stations
does the best bad beat where everybody in all their poker rooms get a chunk of the money.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
But right now
so this one was only the people sitting at the table.
People at the tables.
Okay.
Yes.
The table, right?
Table. I keep saying tables at the table.
Yeah.
It was 40% to the loser, 30% to the winner.
Okay.
And then the 6 remaining players at the table each received about $61,000.
Wow.
That's even better for not even being in that result there.
That'd be great. I just love sitting at the table watching that one.
I just run over and sit down. Where's my share?
Yeah, can you imagine that, man?
That's amazing. $61,000 for not
you fold your hand early on, and then
exactly.
you get $61,000.
Now
I don't know if that actually happened, but that would be my fantasy. I got my whole cards, and I'm going to fold and get $61,000.
What I actually found really interesting was this is $1.2 million jackpot. Record jackpot for a bad beat. The previous record was $480,000.
Wow,
won back in 2017. So that record has stood
for
about 5 years.
What a jump! Yeah,
I mean 480 to 1.2 million. I'm just wondering what was the last time the bad beat was won in Rivers, Pittsburgh?
I don't know.
I mean, for it to be 1.2 million, that had to have been. Maybe 10 years?
I don't know how that progresses or what happens to that, but it's very interesting.
Yeah, it's nice to see a $1.2 million.
Wow, yeah, no,
I don't think we've ever had anything like that before. I mean, not even
if it's a record, no one has that.
I'm talking about in terms of some of these other games that we've seen. I mean, that's a record nationally, or actually maybe worldwide.
I don't know.
A record. But congratulations to Ben, to Ray, and all the other people seated at that table for a really huge jackpot.
Yeah.
We're going down to Florida now. The Seminole casino chain always seems to have a jackpot winner. Seminole Casino Coconut Creek in Florida had another $1 million jackpot winner. I
don't even know where Coconut Creek is. I mean, I have no clue where that is.
Well, the Seminole Casino Coconut Creek had a patron hit the progressive jackpot on the Dragon Link Golden Century slot machine. $1.099 million on a $25 spin. It's always nice to see the amount that they bet.
Yeah.
So this was.
I've never heard of Dragon Link, by the way.
They're very obviously a very popular game.
Obviously, yeah.
But again, the Golden Century. This is a chain of Aristocrat games.
Okay.
Aristocrat Dragon Link. This is their other big one, as opposed to the Buffalo games that they have.
All right.
The Golden Century version, according to the release, has the famous hold and spin feature with a chance to win up to 250 times what the player bet.
The famous hold and spin feature.
Yes, that's a big feature.
Maybe I'm not a sophisticated slot player, but what's the hold and spin feature?
One symbol locks in.
Okay. Okay, I didn't even know that's what it's called.
It's kind of obvious.
I've seen that before. I've actually had it happen to me. I didn't know it was called the hold and spin feature. All right.
And
now I know.
Following the win, the Dragon Link Progressive Jackpot was reset back to $1 million.
Okay.
So it starts at $1 million.
Oh, all right.
So it kind of, takes the fun out of letting it build. But I guess $1 million is $1 million for a progressive jackpot.
$1 million's fine for me.
Yes.
I'll take it.
Going up to Canada now. We actually, in the main show, we actually did the Canadian numbers. We have a jackpot at one of the casinos, Playtime Casino Kelowna, over in British Columbia, Canada.
Kelowna?
Yes. Kelowna.
Kelowna?
How about that one?
Kelowna.
However you say it. We have.
There's two places now. I don't know where Coconut Creek is or
well, you know where British Columbia, Canada is.
I know where
British
Columbia is, yeah.
A $5 25-cent wager on the PowerBuck slot machine turned into $1.032 million.
Wow. Okay.
That's Canadian dollars.
Okay.
After being at the casino for just 20 minutes.
Wow, that's great. That's the best story. It's a low bet, it's a quick win, and it's a huge win.
Well, according to the press release, the winner said that his father wanted to just go to the casino for a little bit.
Okay.
So his father, him, and his cousin and his cousin's girlfriend all went there, and within 20 minutes, they had won the $1 million jackpot.
So if your dad
night was done.
So
right
if your
there.
dad says he wants to go to a casino, it's a good sign.
Yes.
Take him to the casino.
That's actually great advice right
That's,
there. So listen to your fathers.
That's a good son. He brought his dad to a casino. See, good sons are rewarded.
Well, let's move on to a near $1 million jackpot here. Although I can't call this a jackpot, I guess it was a win since it's a sports bet.
Oh, okay.
And I think you know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I think I don't know who tweeted it out. It might have been FanDuel who tweeted it out.
Well,
I don't know.
According to FanDuel, this was their largest payout on a NASCAR bet.
Okay.
And what makes this even more amazing is this was done on a free bet.
Oh, okay.
So
good.
the wager didn't even risk anything. This was a free bet.
That's great.
It was a $13 free bet on the. He did a parlay on the Coke Zero Sugar 400 NASCAR Cup Series event at Daytona International Speedway. That was not too long ago.
Let me tell you something. That's a great way to use a free bet. If you get a free bet,
yes, if I know I'm going to win a.
Well, I'm just saying you might as well try a parlay.
Yeah.
You're not risking anything.
Exactly. But the odds on the entire parlay, he did $13.49 free bet to pick Cody Ware, B.J. McLeod, London Castle, I think that's how you say his name, David Reagan to all finish in the top 10. By the way, that actually is not a crazy bet.
No.
Top 10 finishes is one of my favorite bets to do on racing.
That's the only one I win on when it comes to NASCAR betting. I am terrible at NASCAR betting. One time I bet on, I forgot who the racers were, but they were two people to finish in the top 10, and they got into a crash the second to the last lap of the thing. So, it was awful.
I actually have won the top 5. I've never won a top 3 bet, or what is it, the platform?
I've never hit the actual winner.
No, I've never hit a winner.
Never done that.
Never hit a winner. But this guy hit on all 4 of these, and he won. Let me get the exact number here. He won just short. He was $566 short of $1 million.
Wow, that's great.
So that was an incredible stroke of luck. Free bet, four-leg parlay, all hit, just under $1 million, and largest payout on a NASCAR bet by FanDuel, and it was also done in Michigan.
You see, that's why it's important to look at the sports books to see the promos and the bonuses and things like that. I mean, you can get free bets and parlay it into this thing.
Well, again, this is also I don't know if this was a new customer or it was
I don't know
whatever
how
it was. It didn't say whether it was a new customer, but when you do rack up loyalty points, a lot of these sports books do have loyalty points. Keep an eye on those.
Sure.
Because you can turn them into free bets no matter what. So,
well, online casinos have loyalty points. Online poker have loyalty points. I mean, comps are a great thing.
Yes, especially now that the online casinos can do them. When they first started, a lot of them didn't have them.
Well, look, I mean, if you're an online casino player or online poker player, you can get comps, and you can use them at the actual casinos, the brick-and-mortar casino. So, watch your comp points.
Well, going over from motor racing betting, we now have another Hawaiian resident scoring a jackpot. on what they're calling the 9th island.
So you mean
which is Las Vegas.
A Hawaiian resident that actually visit Las Vegas?
Yes.
It seems like all the Hawaiian
they call it the
vacations,
9th island now.
It's like, it's
yeah.
That must be a big vacation. Well, it's a big vacation spot for everyone, but Las Vegas must be a great spot for Hawaiian because I guess it's only a 3-hour flight.
It's also cheap flights from Hawaii to Vegas.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. So, but again, this is at the Fremont Casino. The jackpot did a $5 bet on the IGT Double Diamond slot machine. Actually was playing the $5. That was the minimum bet. It was a $15 wager.
Okay.
Hit the grand progressive jackpot of $153,000.
Wow. It's a good investment.
Yes. Boyd has been doing very well by the Hawaiian residents visiting. Okay. So, according to Boyd, they had another guest who won a $100,000 jackpot being dealt a royal flush on one of their video poker machines at the Aliante Casino.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, I think we had that in last week's
Beatin
The House. Staying in Vegas, going to the Reno. We have a face-up.
The Rio.
The Rio.
Yeah.
Did I say the Rio or did I say the Reno?
You said the Reno.
The Reno?
The
Okay.
Reno.
No, Las Vegas. Reno's another town. Sorry about that. The Rio, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
We have our first Pai Gow poker jackpot of the day.
Man, we
Usually we have a Pai Gow poker right off the bat.
Pai Gow is just
yes,
so many jackpots.
Well, this is another face-up Pai Gow poker jackpot. It's a progressive, $107,725 progressive jackpot. They did not say whether this was a result of a side bet or it was just straight in the game. So
my guess, it's the side bets involved
to trigger the progressive. It has to be a side bet.
Yeah, I would guess
a lot of time when you're playing Pai Gow, to get the progressive jackpot, you have to trigger it by doing one of the side bets.
Yeah.
So no word on what the amount of bet it was placed, but
I gotta get back into Pai Gow poker. I tried it for a couple of weeks, online because it's a great way. Online's a great way to learn these games.
They didn't.
I gotta jump back into it.
Did not even mention what the hand was.
Oh, okay.
But they did throw a clue. They said in Pai Gow, the joker can be used as an ace to complete a straight and or a flush.
Okay.
So he must have had one of those.
Yeah. Why else say it?
Yeah.
So,
but they didn't say it. But here we go. We're going over to New York now. We have a jackpocket jackpot to talk about.
That's the online lottery.
That's the online lottery app. 26-year-old nursing student became the 6th millionaire through Jackpocket in New York.
Wow.
That's 6 in New York alone. They're in other states, but this is 6 in New York.
Look, I listen to New York sports radio sometimes, and Jackpocket's all over there, all over the place. They're advertising like you wouldn't believe in New York.
Well, she did a $10. She ordered $10 worth of cash for life lottery tickets.
Okay.
And won the $1 million jackpot.
Wow.
Now the backstory is kind of interesting. She signed up because her cousin had told her to try it out.
Mm-hmm.
She had been ordering Mega Millions tickets through it. She had $10 left in the account.
Okay.
$10 right to cash for life, and she won cash for life.
See, that's great.
$1,000 a week for life.
I always like those stories. Like in a casino, a person's walking out, and let me just throw my last $10 into a slot machine, and this is the equivalent of that. Good for her.
And we're going to end this week with the Virginia Lottery. And I have to admit, the first line of the press release that I read from the Virginia Lottery, it sounded like the first line in an action movie trailer.
Mm-hmm.
All Sherrod Hawkins wanted was some cigars.
Okay.
Sounds like the opening line of a trailer.
I know. It's like or like a a mystery novel or something like that.
He walked into the Fazmart, F-A-S-M-A-R-T, F-A-S-M-A-R-T.
Fazmart.
I guess you're supposed to say Fastmart. This is Virginia.
Okay. Was that a typo? It might have been
might be a typo, but
Fastmart, Fazmart.
If you say it fast, it's Fastmart.
Okay.
He went in to get some cigars, and on his way out, he looked up, saw this ticket called the Payday Bonus Ticket. Okay. And on his way out, he just said, all right, I'll take one.
Was it a scratch ticket?
He took it to his car, scratched it off, and won.
Oh, wow.
He won the $500,000 top prize.
Wow.
So those were some good cigars he got.
Yeah.
But that's it for this week's Beatin the House. Congratulations to all our winners. Keep the press releases coming in, info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we will continue doing the segment, talk about all the different jackpots all around the country and sometimes internationally as well.
And that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.